So, welcome everybody to our community call number 11. Let's go. We have this every 2 weeks. So, this is impressive that we're already on week number 11. Whoa. Or by week number 11. Anyway, so today's agenda, we prepared the regular little forward and introduction, and then we'll give a little bit of what's up with the team, what's up with, what happened in the past 2 weeks in the little guild house, in the guild castle. And then we'll get into some about our integrations, what is live and what we're preparing. A little teaser because we really like keeping the mystery. So still just a teasing mode and a little bit of maybe Easter egging, but integrations. And then we'll talk a little bit about what we improved in production, and getting into more like a little bit of team and community happenings. What can we expect in the coming weeks from on the community front? So, are you ready with the Twitter Spaces, Han? Hello? I think you're muted.
Okay. So yeah, I was muted, so Twitter is gonna hear it again. Yes, I started Twitter already.
Okay, wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
okay, then let's get into it. So, hi everybody. I'm Reka. I'm the founder of Guild XYZ, and this is Hannah, our community lead, and this is EJ, our wonderful backend wizard. So a little bit about Guild XYZ as normal. We usually we do this, have some form of tangibility for those who just joined us for the first time. So Guild, as our nice new collective 2 sentence summary of what Guild is, it's the infrastructure for platformless access management. And we kind of the goal of Guild is to enable anybody to create portable membership across social structures and forming around on and off chain requirements. Kind of, we really want to enable everyone to have and build custom user journeys across applications. And so we set out to build the most stable infrastructure for access management and the best UX app on top of that for access management and membership structures and everything. So this is what you jumped into right now. This is the community call for that, if you didn't know. But hello, welcome. Yes, and to reiterate, we're recording this, the audio at least, and it's going to be up on the YouTubes. Um, I can never promise how soon, but within usually 14 days, because yeah, this isn't tippy top priority for the team to have the community call up within a day. Okay, so kind of what's up with the team, what happened with the past 2 weeks. The update that we'd like to give you is that there's currently still, and for the rest of the year actually, similar priorities as we discussed 2 weeks ago, is a lot of debugging, a lot of hole finding to fill, a lot of looking for stabilizing the product, the team processes, everything, and kind of preparing the whole infrastructure, the whole way we work and way we support, and like every smaller part of Guild to scaling, because we had a kind of doubled in size over the summer, at least like over from like July to September, we doubled in size, and that was a very good hands up for us to be preparing for more growth that we have planned. So we're stabilizing for that, for preparing for scaling. And yes, we also kind of tried to simplify how the team's building Guild, and we reorganized a lot of the team. As you know, Guild works in along 3 primitives, which are requirements, roles, and rewards. And kind of how it turned out is that the team is now organized in a way that we have this setup within the team as well as for working groups. So some part of the team that was not directly 100% working on Guild, before they were working on the query engine, which is also related to Guild, but not like directly on Guild. They we kind of reprioritized, and now they're also working on our requirement side. So we have a very big firepower on integrations right now. This is a very effective decision. So heads up to Bruno for making it. Um, great, great addition. Um, I don't know. How do you feel about that, EJ? Actually, you as a person who lives this more directly than I do.
Sorry, I just did answer some bug reports, so I didn't hear the question.
It's like, how do you like our new setup of having some of the team working on requirements, some on reward?
Okay.
Yeah. How is it?
Yeah, I think it's more effective in the way, so we can integrate faster in the requirement way. And yeah, I think this is
cool.
This is something that we needed to do in the further progress of Guild. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the abrupt questionnaire there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So let's go on. We with this like reorganizing as well and preparing for more growth and doing more stability things, we also redesigning a lot of internal processes, and they're under construction. We want to do better at everything and try to find our weaknesses, which some of them were definitely on like internal communications, information flow within within areas, within responsibilities. So we're definitely upgrading that and working on it. And with all the integrations that are coming this rest of the year, we'd like to be better also on the announcement part and how we're like not just telling you guys here in the community and not just writing like a Twitter thread about it, but going a little bit deeper, more mature in PR side of things, or like educating. Yeah, so the plan is that we are like doing a little bit of more work with each integration on the communication side as well. Even though team hasn't increased on the communication side, it's still the same size as before. So we might ask some help from you guys as well. But we'd love to involve as much as possible. And so we plan to do more educating. And with each integration, we plan to onboard at least 2-3 new communities. That's kind of a new goal for launching these integrations, because that's kind of like the biggest value that we can immediately get from pursuing these integrations, because people ask for these integrations for a reason, and we'd like to actually provide that value of having that integration. So we have to make that connection, and we're consciously doing so. Hell yeah. And back on what we talked about, I think not the previous call but before, which was a little bit of chaos in the guild server, which a little chaos is always good. It kind of reveals the more valuable parts of things, and how people react to chaos is also a very good indicator for character. But so with that, we're also, we started redesigning the whole community structure, but we are also reevaluating the process of how we give support within the server. We, guide creation is one part of that. So creating clear guides and like use cases, workflows of how to use Guild, and where you can go wrong, and kind of like frequently ask questions. And also we're trying to figure out how to do ticketing better, because we have a ticketing setup, a ticketing system set up within the server, but it leaves us sometimes. Hannah might speak to this better, but it leaves us sometimes with a lot of question marks of like, okay, so some people just throw an address in there, and we feel bad for closing that ticket because we could help, but there's like zero context, and it takes a long time to get context on some of these issues. So we want to do this better. So we're also redesigning that. And one last thing on the internal sides is that we set more end of the year goals, as like every org, every company, every community should, we looked at the next 2.5 months that are left of this year, including holidays and everything, or excluding holidays, sorry, because everybody needs some rest. We tried to see what is definitely needed and what we'd definitely like to achieve by the end of the year. And a very big part of that, actually, like very major part of that, is the new community structure and having more robust knowledge bases, with the integrations, with the guides, with use cases and everything. So kind of more crystallization of what's going to happen till the end of the year. I would advise, just on a personal note too, to, if even if you're not part of like a bigger org, or working on the startup, just have like a few hours of reflection of what you'd like to do this rest of the year, because it's a very great time. Every start of the month is a great time, but I don't know, like it just feels like a good time to reevaluate things and have like a sprint of something. If you really wanted something in 2022, this is probably the time to reiterate that and think about it. So I'll definitely do that personally as well. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we could jump into integrations. So with let's see what's live, Hannah.
Yes, I'll take from here.
Okay.
In this call, we would like to talk a bit about the new integrations that we are having live. So, you know how we are usually doing it. It's like we're leaking it here first to the core community, and then we are announcing these like on our socials, on Twitter, so on. So, let me just jump into the first one. Um, Maybe some of you already saw it or may not, but actually, we are happy to announce that our new integration, the first one that's live, is GitPub, which is a really interesting and unique way of building like decentralized professional reputation. If you're not familiar with this, these GitPubs are actually unique badges for GitHub contribution. It means that like if you're contributing to a GitHub repository and if you have a pull request that's like getting merged by the team, you are getting this badge, this unique badge for your contribution. And there might be some future like utilities also with that, so it's really interesting, the whole like mentality behind it and how it is set up. And actually this is really interesting, like what this enables, like community building around things that you've actually done rather than both. Like this is a huge unlock, and we just want to make sure like we're integrating it into Guild, so we are giving more opportunity for community builders and like devs and everyone out there to use this by Guild. So this is super exciting.
Oh, very.
This is the first one.
Yeah, the second. I'll take
Yeah,
over the second one. Yeah. So the other one that is already live is Nukes World integration, which, if you guys don't know, they are essentially like you can mint badges as NFTs based on chain achievements. So like if you have an ENS, you can we can mint one of these badges, and these are soulbound NFTs for essentially building your reputation. We created on our requirement card, we created a Nukes slot so that you can use not Nukes badges easier, way more searchably. But I'd like to re-emphasize what Hannah just said is, with all of these integrations, what we really try to do is, first of all, connect things in the infrastructure that are very Web3, and if not Web3, then super usable by the communities that hold these Web3 values. And we also very heavily try to go towards not relying on over financialization of assets and not require this exclusive culture of being able to purchase a large amount of tokens or or NFTs to be able to enter, but rather be able to earn yourself a spot in a community based on merit or what you've contributed or what you've done already, and kind of allow more of this, like, how do I say that nicely? So your own unique quest that things that you've already done on the internet, on chain, kind of allow that to give more context on who you are and allow you into spaces that you can get into. And moving forward, it should be easier to do these things without actually purchasing stuff. So that is something that is more of a future what we're going towards, and these integrations that are on the way. Should I also get into like what's coming, because now we're kind of like change the tone to that. Is that okay, Hannah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So moving forward with the more integrations, because we have multiple already done. How we plan to launch these is we'll put it out in prod like we usually do. We really want to involve you in heavy testing and like early access, which Hannah will talk a little bit more about later. But we'll do individual announcements for these projects and give like a deep dive of what these projects are. So even if you didn't know GitPoApp before, even if you didn't know Nukes before, you have like a more deeper understanding of how to use these projects, because they might be very relevant and easy to access for the communities that you're in, and they might be very, very useful and very integrated with Guild already. And the more integrations that are on the way, I'd like to just speak to the fact that at least in the back end, we also try to build it up in a way that the integrations that we're doing, we've been kind of sitting on them a little bit, but we really want to scale this process as well and make it way easier to plug in new data sources for requirements and plug in new reward types, because that's kind of the future that we want to envision for Guild, is that it's a really easily integratable kind of like you can plug in data sources and rewards way easier, and that's kind of happening at the same time, which is not making development easier, but we still keep wanting to ship and provide more and more abilities and more opportunities to use as requirements. So yes, on the non-financialization note, more and more versions of requirement types that are luckily being available for the communities on the Web3 ecosystem, like verifiable credentials, special NFTs, badges, and protocols that a lot of you are already using, including me, are being integrated right now. So we're starting from next week. We'll start these like deep dives and announcements of these, and try to provide as much help and overview with using them as possible. So stay tuned for like a crazy shipping season. It's gonna be along the same idea of most of them are requirements, but it's gonna be a big a very big ship. So a very big ship, chain of ships. I'd rather say it that way. And yeah, so that's on the integrations. Jumping into more on the improvement side of what we did, is there's a more minor improvement about our POAP integrations that we talked about almost all community calls in the recent months. We talk about this a lot, but we do have a native POAP integration for creating and dropping POAPs within your community natively in Discord through Guild. And for that, our voice participation feature as a requirement is live. That just means that for everybody who participates in a community event, this is a purpose for. So the new requirement for claiming the POAP, you can only claim the POAP if you have participated in a bigger proportion of the call, actually. So why we developed this is that we got asked a lot of times, that a lot of users are like claiming POAPs after the event has already ended, which has been a little bit of a headache for a lot of community managers. So we integrated this as a little spice, as a little extra feature. Um, yeah. Hannah, can you go in a little detail about like the list little improvement, like who used us and stuff like that?
Yep, absolutely. As Rika said, like we talked about this new integration, this new feature, like quite some times in the previous calls, but this is something which is like really important for us. And in TLDR is like there is this new feature which is like setting up extra additional requirements for claiming the POPs, such as like monetization, like payments, and voice participation also. And actually, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. We were like testing it out with on our own community call and gave some early access to some communities also. But after the call, actually, this feature went live. So now, from now on, everybody can use it. Every admin, every guild owner can have the possibility to use this feature. Ever since we talked, besides our own like team, we are happy to see that, for example, Zerion was using it on their Zerion Connect last time, which I had like I was lucky to have experienced it on my own also as a co-host. They used both the voice requirement and both the monetization at the same time. So only those could actually have the chance to buy the pop who was there, who was satisfying, like fulfilling the voice requirement. Besides Zerion, there was, for example, Pull Together and Sushi Swap. They were using the voice requirement on the previous Sushi forum also. And let me just say this in advance. We are working on it. So there are improvements going on both on the UI, both on the whole like flow where the user is using it. So even like today I was using it and I had some feedback to our team and we just did some UI changes also. So whenever you have any feedback on this, like we're really happy to get them. We got feedback from both leaders and members also, like community members, how they experienced it, and every feedback is appreciated. So we're really happy to hear like what you think about it. And also if there's anything happening, anything strange, for example, with the monetized pops or anything, just hit us up because we got you covered. If something goes wrong, we are giving the funds and figuring out what went wrong. So it's all good.
Aww,
Nothing to
so
worry about.
nice, so safe, so cozy.
Oh, yes.
Very well cushioned testing area and onboarding experience. Somebody just asked in the chat what the advantage of guild is if we'll ever have a token. Like, I love it. I love that for us. Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No. I just wanted to say, like, we always get questions like this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, tricky question. But yeah, that's on the prop, like the minor improvement we got. So yes, the next like improvement we have, I'm gonna just ask EJ to like take the stage and talk about the other two, because like he's more techy to get this, you know.
Great. I was listening right now, so okay.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Okay, so one of them is the Discord admin rights thing, which is from the guild team with love to OOPS specifically. So until now, our Discord bot had to have administrator permissions to work effectively and properly, and it was like a high priority topic for us because of the amount of feedbacks on this. So we just finished the investigation about the Discord permission system, and everyone should set up the bot without administrator permission from now on. So these are the most important and necessary permissions, which I will send two images about this one as well. So the following ones are the necessary permissions for our bot to work properly, like manage roles and channels, create invitation links, read and send messages, end links, add reactions, and use external emojis. So it is really necessary to keep these permissions granted for the full operation. So when anyone adds the bot to their Discord server, you should not untick any of these because that may cause the bot not working properly. And we just updated our bot invite link on the front end as well. And also we will make a short video about this one. And yeah, uh, also one more important note there is like you don't have to kick and re-invite the bot. You can just reassign the permissions. But in the video we will explain this as well. So yeah, this was everything
Love me
you
some
need to know
videos.
about. Yeah.
We love the videos.
Yeah, cool. And the the other major improvement or feature I would say is like a brand new general requirement type, which name is contract state. So it is like you can add any custom contract query as a requirement. So like any contract on any of our supported chains can be used for any reading method in the contract. So in the smart contract, except Harmony for now. So you can't use this requirement on Harmony for a while. But yeah, we are working on it. For example, this could be awesome for taking or payment checks. But yeah, it can be used for many things at smart contract level. Like if you just used our POAP monetization feature where you can set up the payments like the girl said for a POAP in multiple chains, and like only those users could claim this who paid for the POAP because you can use our smart contract, which name is fee collector, and you can call the has paid method, which will return a Boolean value either the specified address paid for the POAP or not. Or for another example is when someone uses Stargate, it's something like a liquidity provider thing. And so someone is using Stargate and provides liquidity. They can form their LP tokens in exchange for rewards. But if someone stakes, for example, a USDC into a liquidity form, there isn't a receipt for the token, as far as I know. But you can just use the smart contract method, which will return the information about the staked USDC, so you can make a requirement for this with this type of requirement to Stargate, for example. Yeah, like that's all I would say because I don't have any examples in my
Okay.
pocket.
Should we also do a video of contract state? Because this isn't not the most like easiest and straightforward um, upgrade and improvement that we have, but it is one of the most useful ones for on-chain activity as the requirement. So I don't know if we'll have a video or we'll have just a general guide, but we'll definitely make
Yeah,
this a little bit more better documented, because I think even if you might not know it yet, or we might not like it, we might not have the ability to explain this to its full extent. Um, we'll try our best, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. This is extremely useful, even to me, a non-technical person. I'm like, whoa. So this is very, very great.
yeah. This is like extremely useful for the smart contract devs as well. And I would say we should provide more examples about this requirement type. So how should our users should use it, or yeah, something like that.
Yes, we just have to figure out like how we want to document all these things, like what is the best way to give all the info that like users needed to get started and keep going with Guild, I would say.
Yeah. Hey, Hannah, I think you um, have a little update about Balancy here.
Yes, that's my turn to go. Actually, this is like a more like minor, I would say, a minor improvement, but something that is like really like useful to know about is like actually you know that like when you're setting up slash like editing a new or the existing reward, like down at the requirements, you have the opportunity to see like how many potential members would fit into the requirement, like how many potential members would fulfill the requirements that you set up. And until now, it was only for the regular requirement setups, but from now on, like you can even see like how many potential members are there if you set like add the tokens at the NFTs, if you set the minimum and maximum amounts. So whenever you have this like range of like holding those specific requirements, like now you can see that one also, which is like something small but still like really useful, especially if you are layering your community or memberships like with a minimum and maximum requirement.
Crazy,
So
right? It's
yeah.
most useful. So okay, so to clarify, this is for requirements with tokens. So strictly with the RC20 tokens. We've implemented the minimum maximum feature a while ago, which just means that you can say you get a entry level role if you have 1 to 10 tokens of this specific 1 to 10 of this specific token. And now with the query engine that we already have, you can actually see who holds what amount of tokens on chain, and use this as creating allow lists for anything. So even if you don't use this in your own community, this is an allow list maker for how many tokens people have. This is something that you don't just see out in the wild. It could be a product on its own. We're heavily underplaying this, but there's a lot of need and requirements, or a lot of times that we get asked to do the same for NFTs, and we also do that. Not fully with all attributes, because most metadata is not stored in a structured place, so it's pretty hard to get that. But the amounts is so nicely available. So use this at your free will for making allow lists. Go ham. You can also create very custom combinations of so many things. Just all these assets. And like seeing, researching how many people hold a combination of like 10 of Uniswap tokens, and also the, I don't know, 2 ETH, like all these different combinations you can create. It's quite incredible. It's very, very limitless. Um, yeah.
Yes, super stoked about to see like where it is going. I just want to I just want to say it before we go into the team updates and all these things. Is like we have a request to speak from Tangle, and I would like him to hop on stage and discuss the contract things before we go into the non-tech part, if it's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I just invited him to speak. Sweet. Hi
Hey
there.
everyone.
Hello.
Hey there. Sorry, I'm gonna try and get between a new spot here. It's not so loud, but yeah, we've been testing out the feature with the like this contract state. It took a little bit to kind of like get sorted and like understand how it works properly, but it was basically like calling on the user balance and then checking the contract state of like the LP, like of their staking contract, and then just identifying like where like where the asset is. Like there's usually different contract state on like what asset is getting staked into it. There's like a usually ID behind that. So you just need to like check with your developers like which ID that asset that they're like that is being staked into the farm. It'll have like just a value associated to it. So you're going to be looking for that. Plus, and then the user balance, it should be depending on your LP pool. Like with Stargate, it's relatively straightforward. It's going to be very similar to like the exact amount. So the stake, 100, it's going to be a little bit less than 100. Just because it's a little tiny fee. But with some LPs, it does get a little bit tricky because it might be like a really weird number. So you may have to do some math on that to figure it out. Is kind of what I'm thinking, because I'm looking at this with other dual-sided pairs. But yeah, anyways, I've had successfully done it on the Stargate side. Just kind of got that set up here in the last day or two. So really stoked that it's working and being able to like identify people who are farming, because nobody's holding LP token. Like everybody's staking, farming. They want to be incentivized. They want to be a part of the protocol. So this is why I've been super excited about this in particular, this feature, because it's identifying like people who are participating. And we're not leaving them out. So just if anybody has questions, please reach out to me. I can try my best to help. I'm not a dev, but trying to work with devs to figure this all out. Feel free to just DM me on Discord, and we can try and help you with that if you've got questions. Try and give you at least help get to where I've got to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. We'll definitely check on this.
You're wonderful. Thanks so much. This was a really good idea.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for jumping on. We'll get into the more about like community things. Let's go. So last week, we had an IRL community thing. We've been, as you guys know, we're a Hungarian team. We have a headquarters and everything, which is super unique in Web3. At first, I was really shy. Well, we were collectively very shy about voicing this, and because there's, I think, like maybe fake perception that decentralization should mean also like disorganization at some point. But I grew to really much appreciate and view this as an advantage for us that we have such an in-person team. So we have not been very vocal about our existence within the Hungarian ecosystem as well, or either, I'd say. But last week we had our first in-person developer meetup for kind of introducing the Hungarian developer community to Web3 and a little bit about Guild. This is also not, it was great. I'm sending the tweet here in the Stage Text channel so you guys can see. Bernat posted a little bit about it so you can get the feeling. It has a picture and everything. It went great. The guys are great at presenting. I was very proud. The whole thing came together really nicely. And that was a good start of our more IRL journey, being a little bit more open and trying to get the Hungarian Ethereum ecosystem a little bit up and running as well. We ran into the lady who is already started the Telegram chat for the Hungarian Ethereum ecosystem. So we're going to be a little bit more active in that, because we already know 2 more teams in the Hungarian space, and we'd like to be a little bit more we'd like to help other people be onboarded to Web3 better, and as well as kind of, we're a pretty cool team, so we'd like to incentivize other people to build cool teams as well. So this is our first attempt at voicing that, so yay. In other news, the community strategy, redesigning our Discord and how like the onboarding flows, information flows, and little quests go within the community. We've been, Hannah and I and Bernat to an extent, have been like massaging that for weeks. It's not an easy task. Hats off to all other community builders and moderators. This is very crazy to ideate all of this, and we want to make sure that we only implement it once we kind of went through all the different flows, make sure that we have not left information out and everything. Like if we take the POV of a new person coming into the community, or a person who's been here the whole time, we want to make sure that everybody finds the spots that are valuable for them specifically, and we can maintain and protect conversations that provide value for each other. And this includes us building this with a lot of exclusivity. So not all spaces will be accessible to absolutely everybody in the community. This sounds bad, but if you think about it, to actually have a group where you feel comfortable enough to voice your opinion and talk about things, you need to be in a space where people are on the same page. And so in this case, some form of exclusivity will result in a lot of inclusivity. And we've been thinking about this a lot, and I've been talking to a lot of other builders in the space, and kind of going back and forth with the questions on inclusivity, and we try to keep that a very core value for us, but we are even more valuing the like actual meaningful conversations and safe spaces. So a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, a lot of ideating around how we can deepen relationships with you and like allow just these safe spaces to exist and formulate good thoughts in it. So yeah, we'd like to. Yeah, that's it. It's been really hard, and we've been thinking so much about you guys and the space that we are creating here for you. And I'm super excited to get this started. Plan is approximately 2 weeks. We're still on the fence with some support questions because we also integrate that into this whole thing. But yeah, so approximately 2 weeks. Expect this coming. We'll let you know if there's a change, what you should do, and kind of how we're going to transition. We're also preparing for kind of like a period afterwards where it's going to be a little of things that we didn't expect might happen. We try to plan for those as well, but you know, you never know. So we'll keep you posted.
That's
Yeah.
true. We are always like so transparent and like sharing everything that's going on in the back. So I'm 100% sure like we're gonna get you updated in the second it's happening. Like I would be even like happy and so excited to share like everything with you guys now. But no. We are still like working on it and like chewing all the thoughts that we're having on the strategy. So yeah.
We don't want to be even more confusing. That's why we're not sharing the process while the process is happening, because if people just hop in, see a part of it, they're going to be very confused, and we want to avoid that. So we'll think about everything privately for a little bit, just like 2-3 brains before involving a lot of brains, and then we'll let you know. And then we're very, very welcoming for feedback, and also we can do kind of what we did when we announced that we're doing this, kind of like a how transition went, and kind of maybe even do like a what is it called, office hours of just the community strategy and how you guys feel about it. So yeah, a little bit about what's coming, Hannah.
Yes. So what's coming is, I would say, like three words: early tester opportunities. This is what all we need now. Like, since we said like all feedbacks are like appreciated and like really like in the back, we are just constantly trying to figure out how to make our product, our whole project, and everything like better and better. And the like a really good way to do that is like having opportunities, like making these opportunities for like both the pro-op holders. Like I don't know if you already have, like if you're listening here, you already have, but once or twice we distributed like pro-op early tester pro-ops, and we are using those like those group of that group of people we're using for example load testing. They are having their own like gated channel where we are sharing like opportunities, like further opportunities we have. And also like what's coming now is starting these testings with a core team, like core team of testers. Yes. So like this team would would be from like our power users and proactive builders. I already had some chats with some of you guys who are listening to us now, but I'm still like looking for people who would really be willing to like test these new like features and everything that like integrations with us. So we would give you like alpha access, if it makes sense like that. So yeah, this is what's coming from my part, definitely.
Amazing. I think, I'm just trying to think anything to add. EJ, do you have anything to add? I think we're coming to the end of the end of the call.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm a double blah, you know.
I think we covered most of it. Yes, and also maybe one more thing. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate that a little bit later. Hannah, with the essentials.
Oh yes, I'm managing it.
Okay, the long-awaited POAP part of the community call. I'm actually really tempted because we have 1,000 people in this call right now, and I'm 100% sure that this is mostly because we have POAPs constantly being distributed. And I'm very tempted to play with the idea of not distributing them for quite some time because it feels weird. It feels a little weird. I don't know. But okay. How are you with the operations, Hannah? Still
I
on it.
need some help from EJ.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's just chit chat while we are managing it in the back.
Okay, I'll just reiterate what I wanted to say previously is that with the coming integrations, we'll do deep dives. We'll let you know. But it's starting next week with probably GitHub and Nukes that we talked about during this call. And I'm very interested if you guys have more feedback on those integrations, who would like to test and try out, get feedback. It's gonna be a lot of them, so it's we might actually, I don't know, like it's gonna be so much content, so much communications that we've been a little bit more silent in the past few weeks. We've been working more on like stability and in-house things, so finally big out and about loud with our little string of shipments and like taking Web3 by storm again is going to be very interesting. And along that, with the new community strategy, we also plan on having more community events. We've done community stand ups, AMAs, these community calls we haven't left. These are very, very important. Thank you so much for so many of you to constantly show up. But we are planning to do more events, especially with the integrations coming as well. We'd like to have the founders of those projects come talk about their own projects and see if it's valuable for you guys to start using them and use their outputs and badges and credentials and everything as requirements within your communities. And we'd also like to start using some of them within Guild just because we're very, very experimentative as a community, I'd say. I know you guys are very much on board with that, so we'll invite quite a few folks in the next coming weeks. We'll plan. Hannah and I really discussed, and we plan on having 2 events per week, which is a big step up. So I think we're gonna introduce it a little bit slower. We're gonna do 1 event per week from every 2 weeks. So now we're gonna have 1 per week, and then we're gonna go full blast and have 2 events per week that are different and more. There's going to be more workshops as well, more intimate settings with no POAPs and just to kind of get deeper into specific integrations, features, and kind of help each other get better at community and Web3.
Yeah, just getting a bit more cozy with like community builders, developers. and having like a safe space to like chat, because like our like biggest issue here is we cannot really make like interactive like workshops or anything like this, since when you are on a voice channel you can share your screen only with like 50%. And if you are on an event stage, I don't understand why, but you cannot share your screen, which is like a bit like a problem for us, because we would be so happy. Like I would be so happy showing you these new features that I'm talking about. Like, hey, you can click here and here and here, and like be more like active. But unfortunately, we cannot. So yeah, these workshops will be like that.
This is a feature, not a bug, though.
Sorry.
This is a feature from Discord.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like I would ask like Discord about it, like why we cannot share our screens for more than 50 people. But yeah, actually I managed it. I figured it out. If you go to the secret chamber, you can get your unique badge for being here with us. And we already use the voice participation requirement. So if you click on the claim button, you're gonna see like if you're eligible for that, or whether if you're not, because you don't like fulfill, like you don't satisfy the requirement, you're gonna have your explanation in the embed message. So it's all good. I can see that like the reactions are going just up and up, so I could see that you found it, so it's sweet.
Oh man, and it's an animation. We're really stepping our game up, dudes. Oh my god. Okay. Wow. Shout out to our designer. This is incredible. Gil being one.
Into it.
Sorry?
We are getting more. We are going into it like leveling up, stepping up our game with the props. So now it's like moving even for the developer meetup. We had a 3D one, so it's so cool. I love them.
Okay. Oops is saying it's ugly, but it works.
It's
Okay.
like people share the screen share to double the viewer count. Like he said, like this is how you do it. So this is the one that it's ugly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go off. Anyway, okay, let's close tonight, guys. Thank you so much for coming. We're gonna be looking forward to all the messages in the stage text about the POAPs. But on other news, I hope you enjoyed this update. We'll be back, I think, next week already, and keep an eye out for all the announcements that are coming next week. And again, thanks EJ, thanks Hannah for joining, for participating, for sharing, and thank you Tango as well for sharing your experiences about the get contract state requirement, which is very spicy. We'll be sure to inform you about the new community strategy, the new Discord settings, and yeah, stay tuned for next week. It's gonna be a crazy show, crazy show shipments.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks Rick also.
Oh,
yeah.
anytime.
Week.
Thanks,
May
babes.
the POAP be with you guys.
May the POAP be with you. Yay.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.